everyone, and welcome. Today, we are putting on our detective hats. Our mission? To crack the secret code that's probably hidden on some of your favorite pieces of jewelry. Let's dive right into this hidden language of tiny stamps and symbols.
Seriously, go ahead and think about that ring your grandma gave you, or maybe a cool necklace you picked up at a vintage shop. Have you ever really looked at those tiny little engravings on the clasp or tucked away inside the band? Well, they're not just random scratches, they are telling a story.
And that's really the heart of it. These symbols aren't just for decoration. They're a whole coded language that can reveal pretty much everything about a piece. You know, learning to read these marks is what takes you from being just a casual admirer to a truly informed collector. You're about to learn how to investigate your own jewelry just like a pro. Here's a great way to think about it. These marks are basically a piece's passport, right? Just like your passport proves who you are and where you've been, these little stamps certify a piece's identity. They'll tell you its metal content, who made it, and sometimes even the exact year it was officially verified. Okay, so every good detective needs the right set of tools. But don't you worry, you're not going to need some high-tech crime lab for this. For this mission, your toolkit is actually super simple and easy to get your hands on. So these are your two absolute essentials. The pros all use a 10x loupe because it's kind of the sweet spot for magnification. It's powerful enough to see every little detail sharp and clear, but it's not so strong that it distorts the image. You pair that with some bright, direct light, and believe it or not, that's all you need to get started. All right, tools are in hand. It is time to start cracking this code. We're on the hunt for three main types of clues, which I like to call the what, who, and where of your jewelry story. First up is the what, and that's the purity mark. This is by far the most common and honestly the most fundamental clue you'll find. It tells you exactly what precious metal you're holding and what percentage of it is pure. So a stamp like 14K means it's 58.5% pure gold, while 92.5 tells you it's 92.5% pure silver, what we all know as sterling silver. Next, we're looking for the who, the maker's mark. This is basically the signature of the artist or the company that created it. And let me tell you, this is where things can get really exciting. See, an unsigned ring might just be valued for its gold content, but that exact same ring with a famous mark like T & Co. for Tiffany & Co. could be worth 10 times more. It's a huge deal. And finally, we've got the where and when, which we often find in Hallmarks. Now, unlike the other marks, these are official stamps from a government office. They are an ironclad guarantee of purity. The UK has one of the oldest and most detailed systems in the world. For instance, a tiny little lion stamp has been their guarantee for sterling silver for centuries. How cool is that? Okay, you've got the theory down. Now let's get practical. We're going to open up our two most common case files, gold and silver. This is where your new detective skills are really going to pay off. So listen up, because this is probably the most crucial thing to understand. The difference between a mark for solid metal and a mark for plating. On the left, you've got the marks for the real deal. 14K or 585 for solid gold, 925 or sterling for silver. But on the right, those are the warning signs. If you see GP for gold-plated or EPNS for electroplated nickel-silver, it means the piece only has a super thin coating of precious metal over a cheap base metal. And why does that matter so much? Well, let's imagine you find two identical-looking bracelets at a flea market. One is stamped 14K, and the other is stamped 14K GP. That solid 14K bracelet could have anywhere from $200 to maybe $500 worth of gold in it. And the gold-plated one? Maybe $5. We're talking the difference between a real hidden treasure and a fun little accessory. So you can read the marks, you know what they mean, but there's one final, crucial check. Are the marks themselves real? You see, counterfeiters can be pretty clever, but they almost always leave behind some telltale signs of a forgery. So here's your quick reference checklist. Real marks from a maker are going to be crisp and clean. Fakes are often kind of blurry or uneven. Keep an eye out for misspellings. You'd be surprised how often that happens. If a piece is marked 18K, but it feels way too light in your hand, that's a huge red flag because gold is super dense. And here's an easy one. Grab a magnet. Real gold, silver, and platinum are not magnetic at all. And there you have it. From the simple tools to the 3 key clues, all the way to spotting the fakes, you now have all the foundational knowledge you need to go investigate your own collection. You're actually equipped to understand the story, the history, and the true value of your jewelry. So go on, grab that loupe, find a sunny spot, and take a much closer look at what's been hiding in your jewelry box this whole time. So the only question left is, what story are you gonna discover first?